All right. So I want to start off with like, why do we make a yearbook? What is the reasoning, right? Think about it. Think about those reasons because really, the yearbooks are pretty much a societal thing of the United States. They aren't really seen in a lot of other places, but they've been around since the 1800s and they're a really big deal. I mean, we make one every year and over 7,000 people are going to look at our yearbook. So, why do we make one? There's a couple of different reasons we do it. A lot of people, the first reason they think of is a historical record for the year, right? We're putting everything in history. We're saying who went to school here, what happened, all those kinds of things. But the other thing people usually think about is the pictures. So there are five purposes roughly to yearbook and why we create one. And I would say that in this year specifically with COVID, this is a big deal because we're documenting something that is never going to probably happen in the lifetime of these people again. We're documenting school during a pandemic. And that seems a little odd to try and document, but it's a big deal to be able to do that. And imagine all of you in 20, 30, 40, 50 years talking to people about how you went to school during a pandemic and what that looked like. So yearbooks began in 1845. They're always evolving and changing, and they become a lot more magazine-like in the past, I would say, 20 years or so. But they really started as scrapbooks, just pictures and documentation. So the first thing that they are is they're a picture book. I mean, let's be honest. People want to see themselves. They want to see themselves and their friends inside the yearbook. That's why they buy one. So the first thing people are looking for is pictures. And when we have those pictures, we want to make them dominant and big, and we want to make sure they're a quality image. When we crowdsource from students, we need to make sure that those images are what we can do with them and not too big to where they become pixelated. But we also want to see people's faces. We don't want to see the backs of their heads. We want to make sure that these students feel known. And when we show just the back of a head and tag someone, that's not really showcasing that student. So we're really looking for images. The second thing it is it's a history book. It is a documentation of what happened this year. And you can't just do that with pictures. Pictures say a lot, but they don't tell you, like, what was the theme of homecoming week or the fact that we had a parade and why did we have it. They aren't going to tell you what virtual learning is like, except for a picture of a kid in front of a computer or with their mask on. It's not going to tell you those things. So we need to document that with text as well. Names of people, stats and quotes, lots of different things explaining what's going on, which is why yearbooks have stories, feature stories. They have mini modules, small sections of the page that go over specific topics. We get quotes from people. We tag people with their specific names. We have data and tell you where we collected that from because we need documentation of what's actually going on this year. You also can do things like trends and things that are very topical right now. Like, for instance, this year, Chick-fil-A came to town. That's a big deal for this year, and that's a trending thing. So we can document those things in time. A third thing it is it's a reference book. We need to make sure that we know who was enrolled, who came to school here, what the spelling of their names were, and what the important events in athletics are, which is kind of an odd thing for this year because athletics are just now getting started, but we need to keep that documented. So that's where we have the pictures of the groups and individual portraits. These are needed sections so people can know who came here. And actually, they're used a lot of the time for even identifying somebody for like passports and driver's licenses and things like that. They are an actual identification of a person. And the fourth thing it is for us is that what I think is important to note is that when I say 7,000 people are going to see this yearbook, I don't mean the school population. The school population is only 1,400 students. I mean everyone who's going to look at the yearbook, but the school population. Grandparents, community members, parents, friends, family, all these people are going to look at the yearbook. And this is an opportunity for us as CHS to showcase what we've done. So we can use it to showcase how our students go out in the community, how they've worked through this pandemic, all of these different things, and use it as an opportunity to really showcase our students doing great things and what's going on in and outside of our building. And I think that's important to note because a lot of people think that the only thing we can document is what's inside our building. No. We're documenting the lives of our students and staff inside and outside of this building. So you have to get creative with how you do that. And lastly, it's a fun book. It's supposed to be topical, things that you will recognize. Like, for instance, Snapchat is a huge thing right now. And what came out this year? An astrology section for it. And when we did that, we had the ability to be able to document it because that's a big thing right now. And right now, everybody's using their Bitmojis. Do you think we're going to use Bitmojis in 10, 15 years? Probably not. Things come and they go as time comes and goes. So we need to document those kinds of things and have fun with it and do topics that are really relevant to our students. And it's great for the yearbook staff to be able to get together because our yearbook tells a story. It tells a story of the entire school year, what our student body and staff have gone through, what they're experiencing, and important topical information about this time. But we need to be responsible in the way that we do that, but also creative in the way that we do that so that we can cover the entire year for our students. And we need to think about how not only are the seniors purchasing this yearbook, but juniors, sophomores, and freshmen are also purchasing this yearbook. So it needs to cover everyone and things about their lives.